So this is the 9 to 5 versus streamer debate, which is apparently because like it was up before the whole idea of is a 9 to 5 harder than streaming or the other way around, and a lot of streamers were doing the argument that streaming is harder than a 9 to 5, where a lot of people got outraged by that, and I can't tell if it was rage bait or if people actually believed it or like. But I'm curious to see what this has to do because this is a funny setup. It's like, are these 9 to 5 workers versus like a group of streamers? They're just debating. So I'm kind of curious to what kind of points do they have?
How are you gonna disrespect your mom like that,
she
dude?
is right now.
You're gonna disrespect your mom and say that your work is harder? That is so rude.
All right, can I talk?
Damn.
Can I talk?
He's on his throat.
So it's dangerous.
Listen,
Your job isn't dangerous.
You would have to go to work.
Oh.
Went to school, and still.
And pay
Is this
rent.
too loud?
Yes, I still worked.
That's your choice.
I hope it's not too loud.
Playing video games. I play video games on my spare time.
Okay, so do I? Okay, I see what you're saying here. You might like, okay. When you see, okay, cool, nice. I think my take on it is that there's a lot of uncertainty with streaming, which is there's millions of people who stream. There's a million of people who try to do content, and you're not guaranteed. There's no guaranteed like if you do this work you will get this outcome. So to that extent I see the uncertainty or like the way it's hard for you can do a lot of work without really getting any benefits, versus if you have a normal job you kind of get your salary for doing the work that's required of you. So in that way I see but like the point of streaming being hard. But then again, if you then are one of the people, especially because like all of these streamer guys here, they've made it. So in that sense, they have the money to outsource the hard part, which is I guess editing and like, because like you, as a content creator, you have like more roles you have to fill. You have to do the streams itself. You have to do editing. You have to do a lot of like different things. But if you make it and then you start making as much money as probably all these guys do, like they don't edit their shit anymore. They have an editor. They have cameramen who hold their camera. They have people on their team. So at that point, they're basically just doing streams, and to that extent, they get way more money that these people probably do for probably around the same amount of work. So it's like I see both sides, I guess. But I'm curious what they say. I'm very curious what these guys say.
Different day.
Same shit, different day.
Okay, all right, so my argument here
Okay.
is that streaming and social media creation is harder than a 9 to 5.
Nah, it's not facts, bro. 9 to 5 is way harder, homie.
Why do you say
Okay,
that?
Because
why
you gotta
though?
get up every motherfucking day, go to the
The latter, right? Like you manage and have individual. Yeah, that exactly. Of course. So that's the thing, right? If you climb the ladder, it's you'll get more benefit for the work you do. So I see like, yeah, I don't know. I see both. I really do see both points, I think.
bullshit job and slave for fucking pennies.
See, that's the thing is you're right. You get up every day, you go through the
These
motions.
people seem primed to argue. Yeah, we'll see. I think to some extent this seems very set up. I feel like the idea behind the video is that they are all told just go crazy about it, because like I think this is gonna be a rage bait video. We all know it. Like the whole idea about it is just like we're gonna have two sides who are gonna just say their thing to kind of make a video out of it, right? So we're in for a treat, I think.
You don't have to be focused. You don't have to be locked in. You wake up. You go, you flip some patties,
Nah.
maybe you sign a few envelopes, answer a few phone calls.
Nope.
With streaming and social media creation, you have to be on your game 24/7. It's like a switch
No.
that never
When you're a
turns
mail
off.
carrier, I'm a mail carrier, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I get treated like shit every
Mail
motherfucking
carrier.
day.
We
I'm
have to
still
deal with
slaving
thousands,
every day.
tens of thousands of people
Bullshit.
critiquing every little thing we do, every
Man.
decision we make, every thought we
You
have.
guys got it made, man. I wish I had
We
it made
don't-
like y'all.
We don't have
I
to go
wish.
sign a few envelopes and put them in a mailbox.
Man.
We
Okay, so the thing Lacey's doing here is a little too like that. The thing is like you just have to flip a few patties and sign a few envelopes. That is rage bait to the max. Goddamn. But the thing, his argument about having to be on 24/7, I feel like that could apply to a normal job, so to speak, because like I could imagine people receiving like work emails outside of work hours and maybe still having to reply to that and stuff like that. Maybe not to the same extent that you have to be like basically doing a lot. I could imagine as a streamer, basically, if you're like a what's it called? Mainstream streamer or like one of the big people, you have to spend a lot of time like brainstorming ideas, looking into trend, like all this stuff. Of course, you could outsource that to someone else and pay them, but you know what I mean. So I get it, but I also think there's definitely jobs like standard normal life jobs that are also required for people to be on outside of like decided work hours. So I think it's a bit of a weak argument. And then there's the hate comments. I feel like to some extent, like I can imagine, of course, there's people in the world that there are people that'll give cashiers shit just because they don't do it fast enough and stuff like that. But I feel like the amount of, I can't tell if the fact that there's a real life person, like let's say, because like he's probably getting 100 of the hate comments from real people that like a streamer guy is from imaginary people in theory, or like chats. So I imagine, does this one guy who would say something shit to this guy, have the same like weight as 100 people saying something shit to this guy? You're right. I'm only.
You got it gravy, bro.
What's the next trend?
thinking,
What's the
man.
next
Should I
idea?
go-
Oh my God!
I'm giving you a
I have a
take.
stream today.
And I got dogs that want to bite my ass
And
every
you have
day.
lunch breaks. You have lunch breaks. We don't have breaks. We're
Okay,
on
lunch break is
24/7.
a shit.
You
Okay.
guys,
Especially AC. Lunch break is a shit argument. These guys, I know these guys. They do like food segments all the fucking
Energy,
time. Shit
24/7.
take.
I wish I could be at home like you and get back and get paid big
We're
money.
not even at home. We're walking around.
Man,
We're walking
I
around
wanna
doing
do
things,
all of
going to
that.
parties, doing all this stuff.
I got to slave
Okay.
just for not even 100,000 a
Saying going
year.
to
I got
parties and
to
getting
work
paid.
double overtime.
Okay,
Bullshit.
buddy.
Okay, what about this? You're guaranteed to get paid. You have a
No, I'm not.
steady rate.
If I don't work, I don't get paid.
That argument is shit. If I don't work, I don't get paid. If these guys don't work, they don't get paid.
It's simple as that.
Yeah, but you have a
No one gets paid if they don't work.
No, I
That's
don't.
your decision if you don't want
I
to work.
got to work at the job for
If
years.
I don't go live, I don't get
just
paid
to
either.
collect.
We don't got to deal with people spamming L's.
Yes, we have people in the chat spamming L.
Nah. Imagine someone coming up to you in real life and be like, L. Don't have to deal with people spamming
This is
L's. It's crazy.
You have to create
That's so
content.
crazy.
Imagine you have to be high energy. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? You guys like this stream?
That's me
Instead of-
24/7. I'd rather do
That's me right now. Hey guys, how's it going? Like the stream?
that.
So why don't you become a streamer?
Man, that's what I want to do. F that. F this 9 to 5 shit.
Do
If
it.
streaming is so easy, how come every single person in this seat is not a streamer?
People are lazy. They want to put in the work.
That's their fault.
I get called fat.
True, that is their
Oh,
fault
so
though.
what? I get called fat and chubby. All my homeboys call me chubby, fat,
Well,
whatever.
Oh, that's the difference. The fact that your homeboys is fucking around with you and just calling you what's up, like, if you're homeboys, that's a different thing. We all like bully each other as the homeboys but like random people, imagine you get 1,000 comments daily calling you fat. That must like drain someone's mental.
Homeboys, though. I'm going to keep it a buck. That's a homeboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you right, homeboy. You right. But check this out. My nigga, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go out there and get that bag.
I think she's got something she
And
wants
you
to say.
go get
Oh my
that
gosh,
bag,
wait, we're
my
seeing
man.
flags.
Unfortunately, these flags are actually useless. We decided to use a timer instead because we suck at explaining things.
Well, that's just like me then. I suck at explaining things, so
So you raised your flag. Is there a reason you did
Yeah,
that?
because
She's an
I was actually a
ex-chef.
cook for 15 years. So that means for 15
Okay.
years, I had to get up practically every day, get dressed, go to work. And
Okay.
I had to deal with not only adults, but I also had to deal with children.
We deal with children every day.
We deal with tens of thousands of children.
Okay, that's just a shot at their own demographic, saying they deal with tens of thousands of children. Damn, that's a shot at their own demographic. I think the idea of having to get up and getting dressed is like, I get the argument because like most traditional jobs are definitely like based more on like early in the day. But to some extent, these guys, of course, everyone has to get up, and I guess they don't have to get dressed, but I think they probably also like to look somewhat presentable for stream. I know for a fact that I don't want to appear on stream personally. Sorry. I don't want to appear on stream if like I am totally greasy hair, basically look like, you know what I mean.
The Lacy Stugs are. Do you not know who the Lacy Stugs are?
I can't go out in public without 10 kids coming up asking for a picture.
Oh, but that's a choice. That was a choice with the idea of the job.
You know how hard that is of a life?
Isn't that
That is
special?
difficult.
How long do you think this is going to last?
Forever.
Forever.
Do you think this
hopefully.
is going to last forever?
I hope so. You just proved my point for me.
Imagine.
I don't have that security that's going to last forever. Having a job, being
That's
a
why
cook,
you gotta
you
grind.
have that security of, oh, I have a job, I have a degree, I have this. This could end for me tomorrow.
Hypothetically, if you all of a sudden you lost all your followers, what would you do?
I know what he'll do. Get up.
Well, in their case, right? Okay. In their case, they probably have money, right? Because I'd imagine they haven't spent it all like stupid spending. They probably have some kind of saving, so they could probably, fund a business adventure or whatever, something that, a business or whatever. So they could probably do that. But let's say it was just technically someone like me who, I'm not a bad example. I don't even make money from this. What am I saying? Like a smaller streamer, let's say someone who has like averages 500 viewers, because these do like tens of thousands. I guess you would just have to go get a normal 9 to 5. I guess that's probably what you'd have to do.
No, I'm asking
Trigger
him.
warning.
I'm asking him. What would you
Job.
do if you lost completely all your YouTubers? You had
Doing a trigger warning for saying trigger warning job is crazy.
nothing. No one watched you anymore. I didn't even watch you anymore.
Do you watch them?
What would you have to do? You would have to actually go to work. Did I just
She
cuss at
said
you?
it.
That's a slur. If
She
I
said
did
the
lose all my
word.
followers, I would probably buy a couple houses and start
Yeah.
a real estate empire.
Okay, so then you would have to actually go to work. You would actually have to go to the office.
And I would think that would be a much easier job than streaming.
You gotta go into your setup though and sit in front of studio lights and read the chat and be interactive.
But no, he lost everybody. He lost everybody.
Yeah,
he
I
has
feel like-
no followers.
I don't know.
Whatsoever. He would have to turn
Yeah, but
around.
you're proving my point.
You would have
You're
to turn
proving my
around.
point. You're proving my point on why.
Especially like a real estate thing would probably be one of the easier ones, because it's kind of like passive income. Of course, you'd have to upkeep it, but if you had enough real estate to like make enough money to sustain yourself every month, it seems like a fairly easy job for the money you get. But I could be wrong. I have no experience, so you know.
Why this is harder, because I could lose it all tomorrow.
Yeah, but you could lose it tomorrow.
If let's say you're a cook, right? Let's
Imagine
say you got fired.
falling
You have
off from day to day. That
hundreds
would.
of people lined up. You
Damn.
go cook over here, cook over there. You
could be a private chef.
You could be a private chef. Exactly. I don't have that security.
I was a cook in the school system. I cooked all frozen food.
But you still.
That's just a dig at the American school system. Okay.
Cook. You still cook. You go cook for another school.
I think I saw a flag right here.
Flag.
I mean, they do
see
have a
red
point.
flags.
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
have
if
to back yo,
you,
Lacey, it's the truth.
I guess you could do other social media, but at the same time, they
I
always
think something
like
you guys
already
aren't
do
taking into
most
account.
social
Say we
media,
get a brand
right?
deal,
So it's like,
I gotta post on an Instagram story. I gotta go find the 4 Loco cans. I gotta make sure, I gotta make sure I get the 4 Loco can. And
Not to mention,
that's crazy.
it ruins our Twitter impressions too.
I gotta tag them.
And then that goes into falling
Not
off.
the
My name
Twitter
is Rhonda. I'm a
impressions.
registered nurse from the South.
Nice to meet you,
From
Rhonda.
Hi, Rhonda.
35
Seems
years
like a nice
ago,
lady, Rhonda.
I decided to go to nursing school because I wanted to be a creative, I thought. I loved fashion, I loved acting, I loved singing. But in the South, whole lot of racism.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it seemed like wanting to be a creative and then going into nursing didn't seem to line up, but I guess maybe the opportunities weren't as
In the 60s and the 50s,
you know,
people didn't
presented
give a rat's
with
ass
racism
if
they
you
experienced.
created something, and they wouldn't support your business.
Hmm.
So yes, a 9 to 5 is much harder. I had to work 7 to 3, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I had
Damn.
to support my daughter.
12
You
hours.
get
Rhonda, can I ask you a
spoiled.
question?
Nope.
Have you ever done it?
You get spoiled. No.
She said, "Nope."
You get spoiled, and your mama and daddy keep
Rhonda,
giving
we
it
all
to you.
struggle
Rhonda,
growing up.
guys, I got a question for Rhonda. I got a
did
question
it.
for Rhonda. Rhonda,
Yes.
have you ever done a subathon?
Oh
What's a
my
subathon?
fucking
30
god!
days straight,
24
hours a day.
day and night. No break.
We all streamed for
That ain't even healthy.
You're talking about working 7 to 3. You have 2 30-minute breaks throughout that. You get to go home afterwards, see your family.
So I saw some of this subathon that he's referring to here, and I know these fuckers had segments where they were just lying on the bed doing nothing. So saying 2 30-minute breaks is crazy. I know it's for the rage bait or like for the idea of the video, but it's like, holy shit.
Family, relax.
You can't
we
be
were
like,
on camera.
you guys had
30
2
days straight,
30-minute
no
breaks.
personal-
What
Yeah,
day
you
were
guys
you
had
a
segments where you were
registered?
laying like
When
an
did
hour
you
and
get a break? You
they
clean,
did sleep.
boo-boo?
When have you ran a
You-
3-minute ad?
You
When have you
clean
ever
up
ran?
vomit.
Like, so the subathon thing, right? Because I watched some of it. They would just have like the camera on while they were sleeping at night, obviously. So they would just, you know, the stream would go for 24 hours a day, but of course they're still sleeping because you can't, you know, no human could physically go 30 days without sleeping. That is just not sustainable. So in that, like, but then again, everyone needs sleep. So no matter like what job you have, you need to prioritize sleep. So it's like, you know what I mean? But yeah, the break thing is so fucking funny because like, yeah, we're stalling. We just we don't know what to do right now, so let's stall. Maybe like, I don't know, 30 minutes just by lying on this bed segment.
Ever ran a
You
3-minute ad?
pass trays, you short-handed.
3-minute
about the
ad. What do you
relationships
mean?
we
It's
have?
pressing one button.
Now,
It's fake
think
on
about
social
this.
media.
Think about this. Imagine
Sure.
every little person, we call them parasocials.
Okay.
Judge your relationships. You can't go out to dinner or have a girl take a picture in your car without them finding out and judging
I got
you
caught with
based
my
on it.
ex.
I
in
got caught with
public.
my ex, and I got treated like I was a pedophile for it. But
How is that related? I feel. Is that? Am I crazy? Is that a? Okay. I feel like saying that you got treated like your, you know, PDF file is there's more questions to this. Okay.
But mental health. When you stop caring about what people think and what they say about you, do you?
All
you?
right.
And that's
Speak your
a
truth,
big
Rhonda.
problem with younger people. You care about what people think, social media, what they say about
Because
you.
that's our
our job. You said you're a nurse, right?
35 years.
What do you
Okay.
think's harder? 24-hour open surgery, like when you're helping with, you know, the doctor, et cetera, or a 24-hour stream?
Okay. I think that's a horrible question because like 24-hour open heart surgery, you have a fucking live on your lines.
24-hour open surgery.
Oh,
Hey,
brother.
you short-handed.
We're saving thousands, you're saving one.
Oh my god. Imagine. I mean, I do see people being like, oh, your content has helped me, you know, stuff like that. And like, there will always be the people who say like, this has prevented me from, you know, doing stuff in game. We're saying in game here because we don't want to, you know. So, but like that other, I don't know.
So you said 30-day subathon, right?
Yeah.
Then
My argument is that you guys, none of you guys actually did any of the work during that. And it was all your filmers, your
he part of the
editors,
Faze team?
your producers. All these people back here are the ones doing the work. You guys just show up and have
all
fun.
right.
They didn't do anything.
It's a group project.
No, because
I see his argument here. I definitely see his argument. The thing is, if these guys weren't here, the other people wouldn't have the, you know, opportunity to do that work. Because like, if these guys weren't the big, I guess, social or like the big social media presence they have, or like be the, you know, people in front of the camera, no one would have to film them. Oh, sorry, not film them. That sounded weird. I'm sorry. Film them. No one would have to film. I said it again. Film them and all the other work. So it's like, to that extent, they're of course providing work for the other people, but it's like, of course, you would do that even at a 9 to like, just say the boss of whoever 9 to 5 worker also like, you know, outsources the work to someone else. So that's
Here's
just
the thing.
natural to an extent.
That's bad takes. That's bad takes. That's bad takes.
They wouldn't have any work if it wasn't for us, though.
That is true though. He's even clapping at her.
I would even go as far to say as every person in this room, we keep them employed as well. Because here's the thing, we get sponsors from these companies that have 9 to 5s, right?
no.
These companies, hold on. These companies are not viable without influencers to push the brand and keep them in business.
Have you ever worked a real job?
Oh no.
So how would you know?
Never having worked a real job is actually so fucking crazy. That is crazy. Never having worked a real job.
I have worked a real job.
What was your real job?
I worked 8 months. I worked a double. I worked Walmart and Panera at the same time for a year.
Why are they laughing though?
Nah, she's making me mad.
I mean, it's not 35 years as a nurse, but it's still like doing 2 jobs at once is sounds pretty taxing on your.
I actually feel like they're wrong.
Hi, I'm Chris.
All right, Chris.
Why do you think a
No,
9 to 5 job
Chris.
is
Wait,
not harder?
occupation. And wait, why is he here then? If he doesn't have an occupation or like an okay.
Than what you do?
Well, you're guaranteed to pay.
Guaranteed to pay.
Yeah.
And that makes it
Guaranteed
harder.
to pay.
No, it makes it easier for you
Makes
guys.
it easier
Yeah.
because we have a guaranteed pay.
100%. You have
Makes
security.
it
Talk
easier
about
for
raises.
Makes it easier for 9 to 5 people to have a job because their pay is
Yeah,
guaranteed.
when you go to work every day, everyone's
So you're
like,
basing the ease of a job just on somebody getting paid regularly? Is that what you...
well, let's just say that comes to perspective. If you say someone who works food, if you're someone who works a doctor, it's obviously different. But if you're talking abroad, 9 to 5, someone who doesn't need a degree, yeah, it's way easier than being a streamer.
How so?
But you don't need a degree to be a streamer either. That's the thing. You don't need a degree, so the degree point is bad. But the security or like the stability argument might be decent. Of course, there could be other aspects like layoffs and a job like, you know, like dry out, like with not many jobs available, stuff like that. So there's like definitely criteria that can make it not as stable, but I get the
Well, it's
argument
because
though.
you're guaranteed and you don't need any crazy knowledge. You don't need to go to school for most jobs, like certain things like a 9 to 5. If you wanted to go work at Foot Locker, I could go to Foot Locker, apply, and then next thing you know, I'm selling shoes for pay every single hour.
Bro did not know the hourly rate of someone in Foot Locker, so he just said pay.
So according to you, a job is easier or harder based on the guaranteed pay? That's one aspect of it.
Working
right?
at Foot Locker, working at a job like Panera or wherever Lacey is easier than a streamer. Yes, because a streamer you have to come up with ideas. You have to stay relevant.
Oh, we're talking about ideas now.
Yeah,
we're
what do you-
talking about pay.
Okay, so what do you want to
that's
start with
one
though?
way that
But it
it's
doesn't
easier.
make. But
Well,
you're not
you started
even.
with
You're not
pay.
even. You keep switching it. So why
Oh,
don't
I'm
you
not
answer my
switching
question?
anything.
You know, you 100% are. So how is it harder if you're guaranteed to pay? I worked for 4 years of streaming. I didn't make $1.
Well, what's your definition?
That is a
of
long
harder?
time without
That's the
technically
thing.
making
It's
a
like,
dollar.
What
Stuff
is
that you need
difficult?
creativity. You need to get out of your circle, comfort
Sure.
zone.
Yeah.
You need to be able to.
The getting out of your circle and comfort zone is a bad thing, I think, because like let's just say service workers, right? If you're like a cashier, of course, if you're like, let's say you, I don't know, social anxiety, something like that, you know, anything like you don't function well in social situations and stuff like that, has to be a cashier, talk to customers, you know, stuff like there's definitely places in a 9 to 5 where you have to get out of your comfort zone. So that might be a bad thing.
to actually make people believe what you believe in the sense of like, oh, this is good content. Do you watch any TV shows?
Well, you have to make
watch
people
YouTube.
believe that's a good
You watch
product.
YouTube. So it's the
YouTube.
same thing. So the people that
Absolutely,
you're
yeah.
entertained by are the people like us, just for a different audience.
That's true, but you're talking about entertainment as a job. We could talk about entertainment.
This is entertainment,
as a job.
but this
yeah,
is entertainment.
Entertainment
But
as
my
a
question
job
to you
doesn't have
is
any
why?
guarantees. Absolutely.
So do you truthfully? You can sit here and think that working at like a Foot Locker or something like that, I'm just using that because that's the best
Sure.
example,
Yeah, yeah.
is harder than a streamer?
It depends on what you are saying the word hard means to you. Because
In the
there's-
sense,
I feel like we're looping around. We're just going in circles now without getting any like real. Like, am I wrong? Are we not just circling around to the same thing without it really getting anywhere? Because like he has a lot of arguments, and this guy keeps wanting to like repeat his arguments to be sure that he understood it right, and we're not really getting anywhere. We're back to the first question of what do you consider whatever.
of everyday
physically,
activity. Because
there's
some people
hard-
around here said, "Oh, I got to wake up at 7 a.m., 8 a.m." Oh,
Yeah.
okay, we have to do the same thing.
Sure.
Some people do that.
And you deal with yourself.
No, we deal with
You-
millions
when
of people.
you're creating that content and you have
Hmm.
your phone,
Okay.
you're dealing with you and yourself in that phone.
Okay, so what happens?
You're not dealing with
Not true.
coworkers and you're not
That's not
dealing
true at
with-
all. I have an
Okay.
editor that I pay who relies on me. If I stop doing
Which-
So that's, but like it's a different thing because at their position, they're more like they're more technically like a manager position, so to speak, or like a higher up position than like bottom of the what's it called, hierarchy 9 to 5 worker. So it's like it's weird comparison because it's like two different positions. That's like you could also compare manager position to a normal employee position, but it's a hard comparison.
Any type of content, he loses
So when
a job.
you go to your job, when you go to work, rather than punching a card, you pick up your phone or you turn on a camera.
Okay, so when you punch the
Sure.
card, let's say, who's above you? Your boss, right? What happens if he just takes the business and he says, "Oh, we're not doing it anymore"? You lose your job.
If the work is
That
picking
is
up a phone or
probably
turning
true.
on a camera as opposed to going in with a bunch of people and having to multitask tasks you have to do throughout your shift
Yeah.
and deal with your
Tasks you gotta do
coworkers
throughout
and
the stream.
interpersonal thing. Tell me how much you do of that stuff while you are actually doing your job for however many number
Okay,
of hours
perfectly.
that you are talking and typing and shitting and eating and all that stuff
Okay.
that everybody's watching you do.
Go ahead.
I see what he's saying. I'm actually curious to hear the answer to that if they have a good answer.
Oh, but there's actually a mental aspect.
I understand that, yeah.
No. Let me hear
Yeah,
me out.
go ahead.
Camaraderie. Like you have like a group of people, like friendships, relationships, which is the most
Sure.
important thing in life. So do you build that with your coworkers and stuff like that?
You also have that in streaming. You can build that with other streamers, with it, like with your employees. Like I know some of these guys are like their camera people and stuff like that are basically just like their friends and shit. So you can this might be a bad take.
Sorry, bye.
Seeing a lot of flags.
Bro did not want to be there. He just walked out.
So I'm Angelina,
Piece the
and I
fuck
work
out.
as an executive assistant.
You're right. You're right. She's right.
Oh my fucking God.
She's right. I'm not gonna lie. She's
All right, so you guys were talking about the mental aspect, and I thought that was really interesting because as someone who works a 9 to 5, technically
Okay.
it's a 10 to 6, but
Sure.
I still have to clock in a certain amount of time. I come home, I'm too tired to cook. Fortunately, I have a beautiful girlfriend that does all of that stuff for
I don't know, happy pride.
me when I get home, but if I didn't, I would have to cook for myself and get to bed in time and wake up in time to commute back to my job. You guys talk about how it's hard because there's a mental aspect, and I understand as someone who's been on social media a lot that you get
How long have you been on
rated.
social media? Just to get broad.
So I actually did content creation starting
Oh.
at the age of 14. When I moved to LA, I gained like
So we have
10,000
someone with,
followers
like, the both
off the
perspectives, I
bat,
guess.
and I was
Damn,
very
10K
young and I started
followers?
working with different brands.
Okay.
I totally
Damn.
understand the mental aspect. It's just that you guys can afford to say, hey, I'm gonna go wherever for 2 weeks, and that can be content, that can be your job, and you actually get to relax and travel the world and have other opportunities.
You just say a lot of points.
There's no relaxation.
So I can
Bro.
answer a couple. So you were saying like
Shane,
to
shut
go
the
back to the
fuck
beginning.
up.
You were saying like you can manage like your time with like relationship. Was that correct? Like you have your girlfriend when you go home. Like
I fortunately
I think she has a really good point here because like I see people then they do like a stream where they go to I don't know some let's say Red Bull event where they get to drive like Formula 4 cars and shit like that. Like you wouldn't get to do that at a 9 to 5, but that is technically just a stream as well. So they get to go and do cool like I guess not necessarily relaxation, but like stuff that is not just like the same everyday 9 to 5 spiel. So I think that's a really good argument.
really have a support system, but I every day like ask myself how I would
So
have
I'll
been
give you
able
a
to do it
perfect
without.
example. So you said 14 you started. I started at 16. For about 3 years, I was making
Payphone
money,
clip.
and it slowly went super up, and then all of a sudden it went down. Right? I lost everything, fell off completely. About to myself. It's a real story. This is a real story. This isn't a joke. Why are you smiling?
We've all been there.
In game. We've all been there. In game. In game.
Every 9-to-5 worker has been there.
So
That's
going
why.
back to what you said, how you have a support system. I moved across the country from my parents at the age of 19, lived alone in an apartment, was paying a certain amount of money every single month, and I was losing money. I wasn't making enough money to pay my like I had money in my
Could
bank
find
for my
another
rent,
apartment
but I
potentially.
wasn't making
It was
more than my
savings,
rent.
yeah.
So I was losing.
You were in the red every
I
month.
was in the
I
red
got
every
you.
single month.
Sure.
Girlfriend broke up with me at the time, so alone
Whammy.
across the country.
Why is she? Why is she? Wait. Why is she snapping on that? Rose said girlfriend broke up and she is snapping. Like hello.
Across the country. So it's like when you're alone too and everything's going down, where's my support system?
I don't like why she's laughing, bro.
So I have a question. You
Damn.
said that for the first 4 years you started streaming, you had no income. How are you able to survive?
I lived with my mom. I was 16.
Okay.
So that
Why are we? Wow. What? Huh? Okay. Hear me out. I know that there's some cases in the world where not everyone gets to have a somewhat normal upbringing. But wowing the fact that he was living with his mom at 16, that is not like something necessarily crazy. That is somewhat normal to get to live with your parents up till 18. Then again, I know specific cases where unfortunately circumstances are not, the right ones, so that can't happen. But it is somewhat normal to live with your parents until you're at least 18.
that to a certain extent is privilege.
That's privilege.
That
It
is-
is.
But my mom,
To some extent, but still.
How's that privilege? Before you
It's
go there?
privilege because you have the support system to have a place to live.
Well, at 15, 16, I would hope I have parents that would.
I would hope
yeah,
so
but a
as
lot
well.
of people don't, and they have to
What is
take
that's
9
a
to
whole different
5s.
discussion. So a lot of people don't have houses.
A lot of
when they
people
working
don't
9 to
have
5s?
families that support them or
But
accept
that's a
them.
whole different conversation. What does that have to do with the 9 to 5?
Because they still need to
This is a
survive. So the fact that you were
Privilege
given
check
So how did you
more
move
than
to
the
LA?
topic.
I moved across the country as well with my mom when I was 15 years old.
Hello? Okay.
Do you not think that's privileged?
I
Okay,
mean, we
this is
moved
just
into
a
a
privilege
one-bedroom in
check at
Santa
this
Monica
point.
and shared a trundle bed. So
Okay, well, I was reselling shoes to afford my mom's.
This is just a privilege check
I
at
get
this
it. I've
point.
definitely helped my family out in times where I was able to, but I also had to have my family
Yeah, we're getting off topic here, that's for
support
sure.
me in order for me to have certain opportunities to make money in the first place. So if you didn't have content creation, what would you be doing?
It's a great question. I don't know because I didn't set my goals that way. I set up my life to that. I know I would do what I want to do. If we all got paid the same every single month, let's say we just in simple terms, we all got paid $100,000 a month, a crazy
Okay.
amount of money. Would you guys still, truthfully, I'm asking a serious question. Would you guys say that all of our jobs are harder than each other, truthfully?
Okay, so with the premise of being, I guess, secured $100,000 a month, which is crazy money, I agree, very crazy money, very crazy salary. I would for sure just like do streaming. I think having to, I don't know, work at Panera, as he said, having to make sandwiches all day, no, fuck that shit. I would do streaming if it was
Yeah,
guaranteed.
if she was a nurse, she had to go to medical school for years just to be able to have her
But
foot
she
in the
knew
door.
that she was getting security because she was going to be a nurse, correct?
Not secure.
How is it not
not.
secure
I
if you knew what you were
feel
going to do?
like we just glossed over the question.
Nothing's secure. You just proved my point. But you just proved my point.
No job is secure, but content creation gives you the ability to have those savings,
But
to have an audience. And even if you do
It can do, let's say it like that. It can give you the opportunity, but it can also be an endless fight of getting nowhere.
lose all your followers one day,
Yeah.
even if
Let's
you
say I
lose-
lost it all tomorrow.
you still have residuals of your previous viral
But that's-
videos. Even if people are hating on you and
Right.
shitting on you, that's still adding to what goes into your
Right.
pocket.
To
There's
some
literally
extent.
doctors who do one surgery and make hundreds of $1,000s.
Because they were trained for decades and they had to go to
fuck is he
school. You went to school to be
What
a
is that?
content creator?
Streamer University.
Streamer University, what a pull. You mean the content thing that wasn't jack shit about school? Where the classes were not even close to classes.
Alex.
Gabe,
how we doing?
I'm doing good.
I like Gabe.
So first
Gabe
of all, I
was
want to say
cool.
I do respect all of you for what you do. I mean, you guys do work, but you do not work as hard as people who have a regular job.
You don't know that.
Okay.
I mean, that I do know it for sure. It's very clear. People have to wake up and do their routine over and over again. It's not a daily thing.
Isn't that technically the same? Okay. Me personally, not the case, but like I believe most of these guys, they stream every day, like every single day, pretty much, and then like maybe they take 1 week off it, like sorry, not 1 week, 1 day off a week. You know, but that is probably comparable, probably to someone who, you know, might have weekends off or something like that.
It's a weekly thing, it's a monthly thing, it's a yearly thing, it's a life thing.
Mhm.
And if they screw up, they lose their jobs. And they always have to be careful because if they do something weird, they say something weird to their coworker or their boss, they're going to lose their job. If you lose some followers because of something you say,
Right.
you'll get other followers. And you have a large following enough where there's enough of a range of perspectives that people will always be on board for you
Okay.
as long as you're producing content. People who screw up at their jobs and lose their jobs, and maybe there's a recession, there's not a lot of jobs.
I see what he's saying there. I think there is definitely some, you know, something to his point here. I also think that you can definitely lose, not necessarily everything, but you can definitely lose a big chunk of like your, I guess, income as a content creator if you do something dumb. There was an example of someone at an event recently where there were alcohol included, that ended up basically almost humping a pillow close to someone's face, and that in turn lost them quite a few like an organization deal, you know, the ability to go to certain events. Like, so there was a lot of opportunity through that. It was lost because it was a stupid decision to do that at the, you know, at the event that we're at. But then again, there's also tons of examples of people getting quote unquote canceled but coming back. So I see both sides to this.
You know, they get potentially homeless or worse.
You ever heard of cancel culture?
What's that? Yeah, of course I've heard of it. But how many people have been canceled and came back? I mean,
Yeah,
it happens
exactly.
all the time. Your boss is not going to be loyal to you if you don't get that thing in on time 5 times.
But check it
You're
out.
done.
Okay, so listen, but to be able to get that loyal following of people that do
Okay.
follow you,
Yes.
you need to build that over years
Okay.
and
You
years,
do.
and
Okay.
years and hours of
Okay.
trust
All right.
and communication
Sacrifice.
and intimate
Shut up, Jason.
relationships with your audience.
Okay, so
that's not something that's just given to you.
Look, the
you don't
things-
just fall into 1 million subscribers.
No,
Of course
you
not.
don't.
Of course not. It takes work for sure. But like,
I like Gabe. He seems to be like, he acknowledges the fact that there's definitely some work to it. He's just, you know, it's not as hard as doing. I like Gabe.
what you guys are talking about in terms of like the toll it takes on you, a large part of it, and let me tell you something, I'm a little older than you guys, so a large part of it is just general angst from being young, and you just happen to have a camera in front of you and like talking to people or whatever, but at the same time, like, you're doing exactly what most people are doing, which is dealing with life stuff, and that's
Yeah.
normal. Like the mental toll that it takes dealing with people and getting comments and this and that, that's what everybody deals with. But
That's
you
a
don't
fair
have to
argument.
wake up at 6
Although there is on like a factor 10 or like, you know,
in the
multiplied by
morning
quite a bit.
and get to your job and then be there and like be on the whole time. No,
The argument of not having to be on all the time, I feel like that is a bad argument, because I think streaming requires someone to be on quite a bit, because it does take some, like, you know, locking in.
no matter what, anyone who has a 9 to 5 has to do that.
I said, what do you do? What
Well,
do
I'm
you
a
do?
college professor, so I have to do that same
So
sort
you
of.
just gotta come in and teach the same shit for the next 10, 15 years?
Yes, you're right.
Come on, man.
We have
You already know what you're doing.
We have to produce new shit every day.
Yeah, you guys repeat shit as
To
well.
Silky's point, you're a college professor, so you're essentially reteaching the same curriculum to the same students.
That I had to take
what I'm
years
saying?
to learn, but
you know
yes.
what I'm saying?
Sure.
But I started making content when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
It started out playing Call of Duty trick shotting. I
You were-
don't think
okay.
anybody in this room could hit a crane shot. I don't know if anyone in this room could quickscope.
I don't know that.
Having your argument as being a trick shot in Call of Duty is insane.
Something to be proud of, but okay.
So I had to do that for 4 years, right? And then I'm like, okay. Then I had to do YouTube for 4 years, right? And then I had to do Faze Clan, build Faze Clan out, fix Faze Clan, and then do streaming.
Okay.
So
with how many people helping you?
How many people helping me?
Yeah.
Come on now.
For which stages?
All of them. There were a lot. You had a team.
When I was
Was it just you? Like
No. It was just me. There's receipts of this.
It wasn't built.
Well, I feel like there's definitely stages to this. I see both points. Like he had to spend a lot of time learning this curriculum. He had to teach like every year. But there's also a lot of like stuff you have to learn for like, let's say doing YouTube. You have to learn how to edit. You have to learn to, set up a camera, do like different stuff. There's definitely stuff you have to learn on both sides. I'm not saying one is easier and one is harder, but there's definitely like both sides have stuff.
Built on the shoulders of anyone?
There's receipts on YouTube of me.
Okay, well, where did YouTube come from?
When I was
How did
13
YouTube become so
when I was
easy?
13
Because
years
a
old.
bunch of people worked their butts off 9 to 5, making it a thing.
That's
and
what
if
you
it
did
didn't
in the previous
exist, if
point.
it didn't exist.
Is that not a bad take? Am I the only one who thinks that's a bad take? Because like someone had to build the school he's teaching at. Someone had to create the curriculum he's teaching. So like that is just a dangerous argument because like you could apply that argument to everything.
You couldn't press play, you couldn't press record, and then just talk.
The fact that you have a campus to teach on.
Yeah.
Boom, there you go.
Right, but I also had to spend years earning my credentials and mastering.
And I did it.
Come on, guys. Your credentials are playing video games. I play video games on my spare time. Come on, guys.
So you just want to get paid to play video games. It's okay.
I
We
would.
understand.
I would want to do that.
I'm Vicky, and my perspective is coming from a hair and makeup artist.
Okay.
Physical job.
Physical
Doesn't
job.
seem like any of you guys can even compete.
Hair and makeup artist. I have so my hair person, the one person cuts my hair. I have a bit of like a good relation with her where we sometimes talks about stuff, and she told me like she wants to start a business that is not related to cutting hair because she's like at some point my hands are not gonna be as good as they are now, so she want to get like stability through something else that is not like as physical. So I definitely see her point there, especially because like I've spoken with her quite a bit about that. So I see that point.
With the physicality.
brother.
You guys just,
I know how to do a 3-strand braid.
Just sitting on your butt and talking
Excuse me, I'm not kidding.
into a microphone.
know.
Very different.
So wait.
Very different than having to
Actually,
get
the
up
fucking dog
in the
with
morning,
the-
carry all of your gear. You've got to carry all of your hair, makeup, all of your
Okay.
supplies. You have to haul it around. Get up early in the morning. You stand on your feet all
Bet.
day. You never sit down.
I hear you, I
You're
hear you. I built
breathing
a
in.
house.
You're breathing in toxic chemicals all
Okay.
day.
All right, can I talk? Can I talk?
Hairspray.
Listen, so your whole
So
thing.
it's dangerous.
Listen, bet.
Your
Just
job
chill,
isn't
chill.
dangerous.
So your
Your
thing.
job-
Now, I won't argue the fact that there's no toxic chemicals in hair dye and hairspray, but I wonder if it's actually, if she's overplaying it a bit or if it's actually that bad. I'm curious. I need to ask my, I have an appointment on Sunday, so I want to ask
your whole
her.
thing. Your whole thing is we can't do what you do, right?
It's not
No, no,
physical.
but-
I'm saying that
I
a
just-
9 to
y'all let
5
me talk for a
job where
second.
you physically have to do
So-
some hauling around stuff.
You're going to go to sleep? Also good. Appreciate you stopping by though, Hawk. I hope you have a good night, a good sleep, ready for potentially 9 to 5 tomorrow. Speaking of. Anyways, appreciate you stopping by. Nice seeing you.
So physically, I
tight,
physically
sweet
can't
dreams.
haul around
into a mic.
bags of like
Appreciate
makeup.
you.
You physically could never trick shot. You could not hit a crane shot. You can't
Oh
1080.
my
You
God,
can't
not
hold
this
a
fucking trick
controller
shot thing
and
again.
make a 200K montage.
Come on, man.
No one in here can.
Come on, man.
None of you can.
But you can
none
go
of
carry
you-
some, just
none of you
some
could
hair and makeup.
physically
And you have
go
to do that for 12 hours a day.
Yes. Actually,
You're
yes.
thinking of 4 days.
Yeah, I would say getting to the point they were at their prime, that would take quite a lot of hours. It's actually a funny thing because it's like, no matter what skill you do, you of course need hours.
Hit a trick shot. It's taking you 4 days to hit a trick shot.
Actually, yes, I would have
Hours
to
a
do
day.
that.
And then your day is never
Yes, I
done. When you're
would.
done doing that, is your job done? Do you have to go shopping and replace
You don't
all
know-
of the
wait,
things
wait,
that you
stop.
use?
No. Listen,
You have to
Vicky,
clean
listen,
all of
Vicky.
your gear.
You don't know about dry streaks. You don't know about hit markers.
But when you're done,
Having to replace, to clean your, like when they stop streaming, technically, they have to like, I guess, plan and do shit. So there's like,
You know about if the Elgato wasn't on.
when you're
Oh
done,
my
you're
God.
done.
Oh my God, disable
Elgato?
resample.
If I rendered my video in Vegas and I sent the editor the clips without disabling and resample,
Oh my God.
my
Oh
montage
my-
is fucked.
I don't know
Because
what
the
that means.
main
I've never had
underlying argument
Vegas.
here is what you do is physically
Daily, day to day.
Okay. Your main thing is what you do is physically more taxing and
Yeah.
hard than what any of us
And
do.
dangerous.
I could say the same thing.
sure.
You cannot physically trick shot. You could never. I would go as far
Okay,
as
so
I don't
how-
Guys, okay. Can we get a? I feel like the whole trick shot thing is kind of outdated already at Dab. Can we grab something else?
How many hours a day do you trick shot?
I don't think
How
think
many
any of you
hours
guys
a
ever-
day do you trick shot?
I like
When
the
I-
fact that
How
these
many
guys at
hours?
this
When I
point are
was
like,
trick
okay,
shotting,
this is
it was
just shit
12 hours
text.
a day. It was however
this
long I
is-
needed to. However
Every
long I
day, 12
needed
hours
to.
a day
However
trick
long I
shotting?
needed to
Oh.
hit a clip.
12 hours a day, every day.
5 seconds.
And that clip is.
He carries a Barrett 50 cal and he jumps off of stuff.
I would have to get on Call of Duty, turn my sense all the way up to 1010. I would have to get to last. I would have to pray to God that he would be in the right spot, throw the concussion. Now I gotta have my rotations down. I gotta have my rotations.
Dead zones. Talk about the dead zones.
Talk about dead zone.
Stick drip.
Why are we going
Hey, it's for the
this
most part,
much
but
into
that
trick
is not
shot?
all YouTubers that are doing something
Oh my
physical. A
God.
lot of it is just talking.
Yeah, but she also said it
Sure.
was dangerous. We could walk around.
But saying that, like, to what point is that not just like the same argument? You know, there will always be YouTubers who do like, let's say that the like the Outdoor Boys channel, he does something that's probably somewhat physically straining with like all the outdoor living stuff and stuff like that. But of course, there's going to be someone who also talks. Same thing for 9 to 5. Someone is going to do construction, which is physically, taxing. Someone may be like a radio host, which is pretty much just the same as sitting and talking. So it's like,
IRL stream, and someone could rob us or kill us.
I gotta.
Wait,
I think
They're
they're laughing, but I think it's especially like I would low key be scared to be too public about my location 24 like every time. Being live outside is low key scary because like especially in America, one person just has to have a vendetta against you and it's over.
They're laughing, but that's happened recently.
I've gotten a pumpkin
Like
thrown on my.
we had rest her soul, someone in Japan who got stabbed to death because some random person stream sniped her and did that, which is horrible. It is really horrible, but again, that's just it's just sorry.
I had my
moving on.
Crackhead
It's
ran up to
horrible.
him on
Rest in
stream and
peace.
almost
died.
almost
Because he
decapitated
quoted
him
his
when he
thoughts.
High energy IRL and GTA 5 streamer. I actually don't even know what Silky really
My name
do.
is Thelma. It's a pleasure to meet you,
I would
sir.
love to know.
I am very occupational. My last
Delmont.
job, I worked as a librarian
Okay.
with elementary school children. I have been an executive secretary, legal.
Very quiet, peaceful.
Yes, yes, all that. Because
Mm.
it's who you are. That we create social media all the time because that's what we are. We're
Okay.
9 to 5ers, and we interact and have energy with people.
She's very I like her vibe. Also, her hair looks cool as fuck. I don't even know how someone does stuff like this, but it looks really cool.
Where I don't think that you guys have that.
We have energy.
Are you serious?
You have false energy because you're across the screen.
How is
You're not interacting with people like we do.
So what are we doing right now? What are we doing right now?
You're doing it now because we're doing a video.
Wait, isn't she debating for us? That's making it.
Yeah, I had an interesting.
There's
I
millions.
saw an interesting video of someone who is a normal streamer. She had her brother on a stream, which it was his first time on a stream, and he had trouble mentally, kept forming a picture of what the fuck am I talking to? Because like chat, but like, are you picturing it as a bird? Like, what are you?
Millions of
You know
people.
what I mean?
I'm not gonna have all y'all gang up on me.
There's millions of people who watch the video and
Yes.
save lives every
Yes.
day. Probably more than doctors.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. There's people that literally stay alive because they want to watch our videos.
You know about going out
Oh my
into the
God.
clubs at night, staying out till 2, 10 o'clock in the morning, trying
Okay.
to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning so you can get dressed.
So you was
to
having
get-
fun.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
But I'm saying it's like
You
you
go
guys don't do
Thelma?
the interaction. You
Sorry,
don't
I don't
touch
remember.
people
Thelma?
like this.
Okay. Now,
What kind of shit's going on?
go to the club. You get to put some shades on and you go by your day to work. We can't do that because we have thousands of people.
But is
You're
that
drunk,
your choice?
You're high. You're
But is
hungover.
that
Just
your
get off
choice?
screen. We don't want to see you like this.
But is that your choice?
We don't like
Yeah,
you like
that
this.
is
Why
their
are you
choice.
doing this?
But is that your choice?
It is.
You chose that. You chose this
No,
life.
that's the thing. We can't. We
And
can't
that's
do
what's
what you
happening
do.
now. That's what's happening now with the whole world. It's a total disconnect. When you have a 9 to 5, you're
There's-
dealing with people. You touching people's hearts,
We deal with
souls,
people's
mind. No, you are not.
Do you know how many fans we meet a day?
I think. Look, I appreciate you.
I think the touching people heart thing is the thing about the 9 to 5 is you get a more real time like impact. Like, you know, you see the result of you touching someone's heart in real time. With content creation, you won't see it necessarily in real time, but a lot of time when people then meet fans, you get like this big, let's say you have like a meet and greet or something as the content creator. You have like this big wave of like potentially appreciation and like how you touch people's life. So it's like it's kind of compared, you know, 9 to 5 worker, you have like a steady streamer, you have nothing, big, you know, example of touching people's hearts, you know.
appreciate you, and I respect what you do.
Do you
because
watch
I
any
think-
entertainment?
Oh my
Of
God.
course I watch
So do you
entertainment.
ever-
I got kids.
wait,
I got grandkids.
Do you ever laugh?
Oh,
Do you
yeah?
ever laugh?
Of course I
So
laugh.
then they
We're
interact with
touching
you.
them.
But the interaction is
Did
not
it make
real.
you feel better?
When I'm watching
Wait, did it make you feel better?
Then what make me feel
Have you
better?
ever
It all
watched-
depends on
have you ever been
it all
entertained?
depends. It
Have you
all
ever been
depends
entertained?
on
Let her
what's
speak,
coming.
man.
I feel good.
Some of it is fake.
right now.
Some of it is
You
fake.
see, you're not answering.
Some
So
of
now
it
let
is
me-
fake.
Okay, well let me answer because I'm debating him.
Okay, yeah.
But go ahead.
Right after this, I got you. Right
Okay,
now.
all
Go
right,
ahead.
come on. Let's
So
get-
when you're entertained, have you ever felt like your day was better if you watched something? You've never felt like that?
Yeah, sure.
I have.
So what's the difference with us?
The difference with you is that you guys do this 24/7. That's all you do.
Yeah.
You know, you just like you. Wait a minute. Somebody made a comment about, oh, I can't even go out with my girlfriend, or I can't even go out in public.
That's right.
I can go out in public and be seen.
So it's
You know what?
easier.
I'm a very social. I'm a very social person. I'm very
Would like to see
popular
it.
in where I do and where I am.
Okay.
I do social media.
Saying what
Oh,
we do has
you
not
should.
affected people. It's not real.
Go on.
How come when I
Hop
go out in
off.
public and I meet someone and they're like, "Oh my God, wait, I loved your videos growing up. You were my childhood. I used to watch you
Or their
every
hands
single
shaking.
That
day."
must be cool
Like,
to hear.
You you were my child.
That
you know how,
must
like,
actually
we grew
be
up
cool to
watching
hear.
Disney Channel.
Yep.
I've had kids
Ben
come
10.
up hundreds of times throughout. years
Good
of my
shot,
life,
Ben
had
10,
kids come up
banger.
to me and say these things. So
Okay.
I feel like they lost a lot at the end. Like they kind of lost track of where they were. I see both points, but I also feel like, of course, like the whole fake thing. There's also fake people, like people putting on like a character or persona in like real life as well. But there's also fake. You know what? I don't know.
I'm Robbie. I'm a server at an Italian restaurant.
Come on.
Okay, though you're Italian, you love
that's
Italian
not
food.
fair.
He has the same menu, makes the same food every day. bro.
First thing I'm gonna say is nobody's gonna
That
say
is-
being a nurse isn't hard, because my aunt was. That is the
My
most
mom
difficult
was.
shit. How are you gonna disrespect your mom like
No,
that,
she
dude?
is right now.
You're gonna disrespect
She
your
loves
mom
it.
and say that your work is harder?
She tells
That
me
is
it's
so
easy.
rude,
Nigga,
honestly.
She works 2 of them.
Okay,
She works
let
at 2 hospitals.
Let me ask you something.
She said it's mad easy. She could work at 2 hospitals.
No disrespect.
Okay.
No disrespect, but what you do, I'm not your target audience. So break it down for me, because I don't even get it.
Oh my God.
Let me ask you something.
You just said I'm not your target audience because I'm black. That's what you just said. You don't watch because I'm black. And this is what I'm talking about. It's harder.
He has to get judged every
I gotta get judged every day. Everybody thinks I'm a hoodlum. I'm a nice guy.
He's a jolly dude.
I can't get a job because I got
Jolly dude.
taxed. I used to work at Costco's. I had the greatest 401k granted to me. That means that when I retire, I get the biggest stipend of my life. Do you know I could just sit there and just meat pack all day just to really realize that, what, maybe 20 years I'm gonna be sitting on millions because I worked at Costco's?
Yeah, Will.
Millions of Costco's. I feel like you're not up with the numbers. I might be wrong, but in 20 years could. I don't know.
I didn't have to interact with nobody, just packing meat.
Yeah, Will.
Come on, bro.
That is what you do fun.
Packing meat, you say?
I mean,
Do you enjoy what you do?
if I make it fun,
Do you make it fun?
I could make it fun.
Yes or no? Is what you do fun?
Not everything's fun.
What isn't fun? Break it down for me. What do you do in a day? We'll swap stories. What do you do in a day?
Okay, so it's
This is
very
interesting.
stressful, right?
Okay.
Not fun at all. Because this dude was talking for 20 minutes about playing video games.
Whoa. It sounds like you're jealous, I'm not gonna lie. But
You on his
I would be.
okay, so look, right?
So I'm jealous of a harder job.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hey, that was
no.
sarcasm. You didn't read it. No, I'd like to. hear this.
No, listen to the time that I wake up. I wake up maybe 3, 4 p.m. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
I'm already drowsy because I just smoked the night before. You know why I gotta smoke?
Oh,
Because
no.
I just deal with thousands of people. I
you
don't even like
don't
people.
gotta though.
I gotta deal with thousands of them. No, let him stay. You gonna stay for this, right?
Wait, but you still haven't described what you've done other than smoking pot and waking up at 4.
Okay, waking up at 4 p.m., right? Now I wake up, I gotta brush my teeth, right? Gotta make sure, because I got
No
a lot of
fucking
comments.
way.
Now, he don't brush his grills. What does his real teeth look like? I gotta make sure that my
Bro, gotta have
He got Chanel earrings like a
mouth
bag.
hygiene.
And
Like,
there's
what?
girls in his chat too sometimes. So,
yeah,
you know.
this, you know what I'm saying?
See him.
I gotta make sure I'm freshly saving. I'm not saving for this video. I already know what's gonna happen.
Holy
There's about to be
shit.
negative comments. Yo, shave that little scruffy shit on your face. Cool,
So
right?
he got fat.
Now I have to game Marvel Rivals for probably 1 to 2 hours before streaming. You know
No
why? Because I don't get
fucking
to
way.
game it for after work. Like I could just game it after work, bro. I can't.
No,
You know
'cause,
what I'm
like,
saying?
streaming
You can't
came to
just do
gaming. I
that,
see.
Right after I do that, now I gotta sit here and plan with somebody what I'm gonna do for the stream today. Oh,
Okay.
looks like we got no content. All right, let's see if we could just scroll
Guess
something
what?
around.
No content, no money.
No content, no money. Now look, probably by 8 or 9 p.m. I'm
Somewhat.
still probably thinking I got to do something for stream. My mind is
Do you
fried.
know
You know what's crazy?
My mind is-
8, 9 p.m. for him? Oh, I did my work.
Bro, okay, Ron. This is a bad argument because it's just like you're shifting the day. It's the same day. Oh, okay.
I did my work today.
You took the same boss already.
Okay.
Do I don't want to hog the space here too much, but do you know the expression "give a man enough rope"?
What?
He'll kill
No,
himself.
I don't know this. I don't know.
Basically, you're talking
Chill.
yourself into a hole, man. Okay, my turn. I'll be brief.
Wait, give a man a rope.
What is he?
Wait,
It means-
is that racist?
Why is it accident?
He has no social cues. Oh, you're back?
Damn. I would have been tired if that was
I'm your
what I was
black
debating
auntie.
against.
That's what I want to say. You say you don't like people. It's all about relationships that you got with people. So when you say shit like that,
We love
do
Rhonda.
you really mean that?
Do I not like people?
You
She
said-
sounds so
you
sweet to
said-
me.
I'd rather be in my own space. I'd rather be by myself.
And that's
Okay.
okay. But what is it that you're doing that's helping other people?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Saving lives. I'm a superhero.
I guess entertaining, helping people potentially
I'm a
disconnect
superhero,
from
no
the daily hardships. So in that aspect, I'd say that could help people. Doesn't we all have how we disconnect from daily hardships to enjoy ourselves? And for some people, it'll be watching a stream
I'm
or
good. How are
content.
you?
Look great.
in other
That's
forms.
right. I'm Thelma again.
I believe 9 to 5 is
Thelma?
harder. I mean, fuck.
GG, video's over. Clap it up, everyone. Pack it up. We're out of here. 9 to 5 is hotter. They admitted it. We're out of here. That's what I'm saying. We got him. GG, you fucked up, Jason.
No. I believe.
He can't even get.
I think dreaming is so much harder. Why are you doing it?
Huh?
I can't have a public relationship because of the public eye and how they judge my relationships. I had a breakup
Okay.
with a girlfriend.
You
that
didn't have to.
I loved so dearly because I chose streaming.
So
Okay.
my question.
Nah, I loved her.
I guess.
My
I
question,
loved her, and you're laughing.
my question again. My question. If you think it's so much harder, why are you doing it?
Because I'm passionate about it.
That's
Okay,
fair.
So you love it. You love streaming. So do you love it more than you loved that girlfriend?
That's what I had to decide.
Oh.
I had to make sacrifice.
So
And that's
you-
what we
That
had to
is
So
do.
you
hard decision.
lost the
Streaming.
human touch.
But guess what? If I had a 9 to 5,
lost the human
if I was
touch
flipping burgers,
for-
I could have had a girlfriend still.
But you lost the
Well, you
human
could have a
touch.
girlfriend
For
now,
streaming.
probably.
Being a streamer,
Some of
you
the
have
other
to be
people
judged
here
on
I know have.
thousands-
So
thousands of people's
what is
opinions
preventing
every
you?
single day. 9 to 5 person, maybe one,
But
2, 3.
okay, and then back to my point.
Okay.
Back to my point. Is that your choice? Was that your choice?
that was his choice.
That's not the point, though. The point
No,
is
that's my point. That's my point.
streaming is harder
Was
than 9 to 5.
that
That's the point.
you gave up your girlfriend for streaming? Come on now.
Shit, he ran up a
Exactly.
bag. He ran up a
I ain't
bag.
gonna lie,
He did it for a
I did.
bag.
But the thing is, it comes to a point. Do I pick love and a future with someone I care dearly for? Or do I pick
Something that I
future
love.
for
Why not pick
something that I'm
both?
passionate about?
You could do
emotion.
both, probably. Some people balance both. I know there's definitely tons of creatives who balance both.
I'm Lala Costa.
Lala Costa? Yes. Amazing name.
Lala Costa.
I'm an attorney.
She
That
makes
is a
percent off people's.
unique
Fuck
name.
ups.
As
I
you
like
said,
that.
You
amazing
had an
name.
opportunity to get a 9 to 5
Okay.
that you could create yourself. Like whatever you want,
Yes,
9
I
to
would.
5. You would take it?
Yes.
Because why?
Because
Well, if I could do whatever I
really
wanted,
enjoy streaming.
that is a bad take or a bad idea. If I could create whatever I wanted 9 to 5, I don't know what I like. Okay, you could
You
say
don't?
I'd like to. I don't know, jerk off for
to
9
this
to
side.
like
No,
get
but I,
paid.
I have to because this is what
Like
I
what?
built my career off of. I
You
started.
feel stuck.
I feel stuck. Yeah.
Have you ever watched a show and you stopped watching it? Have you ever watched a show and you were like,
All the time.
it's the same thing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have to.
That
I
TV
have to-
show can't. It's done. What happens to all those actors?
It's
after that?
canceled
They gotta
because I
go to-
stopped watching?
Well, no,
Oh,
I'm
no.
saying if thousands
Baby,
of
stop.
thousands of you
Honey.
stop watching.
I think you guys are mixing all
Yeah,
the issues.
Cartoon Network. It's like
and
they
not
got millions of
focusing
people.
on-
You guys know what Cartoon Network is? It's gone.
Banger, Cartoon Network. There was some
All those
great
people are gone.
shows.
Yeah, but pivot. That's the point.
Swag. I actually don't know much about Swag's background from content.
Nice to meet you.
I'm a professional model.
Elisa, professional
I've
model.
worked.
Is modeling a 9 to 5? I don't know. I'm asking out of, I guess, ignorance. But is that a 9 to 5? I guess it could be. Huh.
I was at the age of 14. I was a gamer too.
I just think personally,
Okay,
like
W
I agree
gamer?
with Jason, that I think streaming does take a certain more
Stop.
than a 9 to 5, and I also think everybody in here, right? If you guys all try to be a streamer, right, and then we all try to do what you guys do,
You get L's in your chat.
the probability of everybody here
Else in the
trying to be an
chat.
attorney
Can we get a
is way
W spam in
higher
chat?
than
Because,
somebody
like, fuck
making
else.
streaming a career.
Absolutely, your job is just got lucky because you're a gamer. You got lucky. There's so many people
I was
like
just-
you
I was
out
talented.
there.
It wasn't
These
pure
days,
luck. I was-
everybody's an influencer. Come on.
No. But
So many.
hold on. But specifically, what I do, I'm not posting selfies around the world. It's basically all pure talent.
Okay.
Can I just why is he
I
lucky?
feel like
Why do we all get lucky?
the luck argument is such a hard one because there's everything in life. There's an element of luck. Like there's an element of luck to everything. Even her being an attorney today, there's an element of luck. There's an element of luck. The fact that she got accepted to the school, like all this stuff. So like there's like work and luck to everything. Just the luck is the fact that you get presented an opportunity, and then the work in it is taking it and working hard to make something out of the opportunity you were given. I think so. To that extent, there's like hard work, and luck into everything that kind of succeeds. So I think luck is a.
What is your talent?
Yeah.
Call of Duty. I was a professional Call of Duty player. Like I
Okay.
actually like. The
So you were
gaming.
sitting at home and you're thinking, what am I going to do with my life while you were gaming? You're like, oh, let's put a
I was
camera.
16, so it wasn't really like
yeah,
that.
you weren't really
Okay.
thinking of what should I do with my life, like what should I study, what should I like, where does my life go? You just got lucky.
It's not luck. It's just he's determined.
He put in the hours to be that point. Like there's billions of people who try to be, professional gamers. Not everyone could be it. He put in the hours.
But he knows that's the only route.
He didn't get lucky. He put in hours.
Yeah, no.
That's
Yeah,
what we do too. We go to
it
school.
wasn't
We
luck.
study.
It's everybody's a little bit of luck. I think people who don't have a job, they feel they want to get lucky by getting a job. So I think people even having a job is some sort of luck.
He said, how many people of us
Okay.
could do this? No, it's luck. It's 1 of a million because for whatever
How is
reason.
that luck?
It's okay. Let's say there's 1 million people who wants to be attorney. Not all 1 million of them are going to be attorney. It's a bad argument.
1 out of 1 million. That one has to be the best.
Yeah,
So
that's
how
the
are you
same
gonna
for the
dismiss
attorneys.
all
Is he
this
the
hard
best?
work and all-
You had just to get into like an attorney school, you have to be the best with like your grades and stuff, because not everyone will get accepted because there's a limited amount of capacity.
Is he
Bad
the best?
argument.
I got four. I got fourth last year. No. Let me give my statistics. There was over 300,000 people that played Warzone last year. This is
Sure.
the game that I play.
Okay.
I got fourth. So I was a top 12 player across the entire world.
That is
So
impressive.
that's not luck. That's
like
pure.
less than
That's pure
1%.
skill.
So you're dismissing, is Michael Jordan lucky? Is LeBron James lucky?
Yes.
Are they lucky?
I mean,
No,
they have a
work.
talent.
Sure.
They have
They
a
work-
talent.
they had a
but
talent.
Well,
So what
you
do
know how many talented
Okay.
people out there and don't get the chance, they don't get the shot at it?
I don't want to take
That's
this as so
for
he's not
everything.
talented?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Not
That's
at
what
all.
you just said.
You just
No.
said
What he did to
I
get to
said
where
a
he
lot
is.
of people are talented, don't get the shot to do what he does.
Like, let's say the most talented attorney out there is not an attorney because he didn't get the chance.
people who
So
make it
it's
to the
luck.
NBA.
Or
But I didn't
she,
even
for
get
that
a
matter.
shot. It was I did it off the strength of me. There was no
I
one
feel
who
like
gave
it's
me
bad.
a shot.
She has a bad
Yeah,
argument
I
here.
simply was. You dead ass?
Yo, you being serious?
What?
Why
Why
they laughing, bro?
It's not luck. I've been doing this for 13 years. I uploaded 3,000 videos. 2,000 was I edited myself while I went to college, worked a job,
That
and
is
still went to
work.
school.
And yeah,
So that's
That's
not.
a lot of
I mean,
work
if
and
that's
balancing.
stand
on it, stand on
If that's luck,
Where's the luck at in that equation?
Again,
is there a percentage? We are all lucky in some way, right? If we all have a job, we're lucky in some sort of way. But
God bless.
off of specific pure talent. And I worked on that since I was 16.
again, I work with many talented people. I'm not saying about you. I'm
Yeah.
just talking in general. And there's so many people that are very talented, never get a shot because they don't do the right thing. They don't go the right path. They don't meet
Okay.
the right people. So there are so many, even talented actors here, they never get a shot. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's pure luck.
But that's also the same for her guy. That's the same for her business. There's like some people put like there's also luck for her business. The fact that you got born with the looks to be a model, that's lucky. Like there's also so many like people who play video games, grind out the fucking game, are great, who don't get the shot. Like
It wasn't luck.
It's both
I just
sides.
saw an opportunity and just genuinely took it. It wasn't a handout. It was simply just, you know what, I'm talented at Call of Duty. This is what I want to do. It took me 8 years to make it a career.
Sure.
Is there something funny?
Why is
It's a freaking video game.
okay? This is tough because it's different generations. That's like saying, like, it's a tough thing because like that's I guess comparing it I don't know. It's a tough. Different generations. Everything can be a career if you make it a career. Like that's the thing. Why is being a model in her like the person at the Stance case? That is just quote unquote having pictures taken of you and stuff like that. You could have the same argument. It's picture taking, but it's like it's just different times, different generations, new opportunities. If you make something out of, you can make a job out of basically everything nowadays. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's like, I don't know.
It's a talent. Permission to dick ride? Hey, he's made tens of millions of dollars playing video games, so.
Exactly, that's that privilege. That's that privilege.
But I'm saying though, you couldn't hop on a game and do what I do.
You couldn't do it.
That's a skill.
Your son couldn't do it.
They
Your
could do it.
grandkids couldn't do it.
Some people
Your
can't.
son's grandkids could never do it. They
Anything,
could never do
anything
it.
that takes a talent.
chill out,
The
bro.
genes are done. They can't do it. They can't.
How many hours
can't.
a day did you spend?
When I was younger,
Yeah, when you were younger, dude.
I would wake up 3 hours before school. So I wake up at 4 a.m. and I
Damn.
would play before school. Bus would come at 7. I go to home, come back, and do it again.
Damn.
I was 16. What's funny?
See, there's a disconnect here because to you guys, when you guys were growing up, yes, it was just video games, it was whatever. But when we were coming up, we're like, wait, maybe we can make this career. Maybe.
See, I think that's right. There is a disconnect generationally. Like, of course, there's a disconnect because nowadays it's like so normal the fact that you can make a career out of I guess internet stuff and video games and stuff like that. It's kind of like the same thing with sports because like sports also was just probably like a what's it called hobby fun activity at some point, and then someone made a career out of sports. Like it's the same thing.
If we get good enough at it and we create,
Do you not think if you're talented at something, it's a God-given gift?
Video games is not like.
You don't think it's talent.
You're just too old to understand.
I can't argue that because
Y'all could never
gotta
play
keep it a-
FNCS either. It's
I
the
gotta
same
keep it a
shit.
buck. There's a disconnect.
Same
You come
shit.
from a generation where this didn't exist. This career. You looked at this career.
It's
and
very
you
compared to
laughed.
sports. That's why it's called
Now,
esports as well.
How
So it's
come
like
in colleges they're teaching courses on
Mm.
content creation and esports? When you grew up, this didn't exist. So no wonder you're gonna laugh when you hear this shit because you're from a completely different generation.
Yeah.
You just don't get it, and I don't know if you ever will be able to wrap your head around.
And it's fun.
Oh,
But it's
that's
like,
a little-
it's
that's
you
a
gotta
little
fight
far.
back. You gotta fight back.
Yeah, you gotta fight back. He's right. They gotta fight back because now he's just being mean about it.
I'm
Chill out
Ronnie.
of that. Chill the fuck out.
My name's Ronnie.
You were talking about
Oh, you're
job
Ronnie.
security. Are you
I'm
familiar
Ronnie.
with layoffs, with being furloughed? Like taking
We
it back
fall
to
off.
that's
Bro.
being what? What does that even mean?
You lose everything. Every dollar. Everything. You lose everything.
Okay, and then you can rebuild yourself back.
Don't
You reinvent.
lose it just because you fall off.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
kind
okay.
of it's
Know
not
what
the
you
same
have at least.
concept. Like
I don't know. Back in 2020, when everybody was getting furloughed, everybody was like, "Oh, let me
Okay.
go to social media." That's kind of an easy alternative. So that seems kind of easy.
I know,
And then-
but if you lose a job, you can't.
just get another
No,
one?
you can search for. You have an opportunity to search for another one. No?
Okay,
Like with the algorithm and everything, everyone can have a lucky video, I guess, that performs well, but I don't know.
I've been searching for another one
It's
for
a
10
hot
months.
take.
I interview every day, give the same spiel, have to give that smile of walking through my
I
resume.
uploaded videos for 7 years and barely got any views.
And did
It's
you
just-
wait?
it's-
You
it's-
uploaded 7 videos and,
And,
didn't
and
get any views
went to school, and still.
and paid rent.
Yes, I still worked.
Okay.
I worked
yeah.
Oh, so that you had another job.
as a parking attendant. Yes.
Okay, and was that harder
Then what?
than streaming?
No, I was on my phone all the time.
Yeah, parking attendant
Oh, as a
doesn't
parking
sound
attendant, that doesn't
hard.
sound like you were doing a very good job.
I was chilling.
Well, what the
You were
fuck
chilling,
is
you
to
weren't
do as
having
a
a
parking
job.
Waiting for.
attendant?
Yeah,
when
You're
cars
waiting for a
park,
car.
they're done. Like
Like, if there's no customer, are you supposed to just sit there and make up work if there's nothing to do? Is that what we're like? Hello, are you supposed to like sit there and I guess practice? I don't know. It reminds me of I was in a store the other day, and this one guy, he was sitting at the cashier or the cash register, and he was just watching MMA behind like the register because there were no customers.
it doesn't.
Okay.
I don't have to.
Well,
I'm not security.
That's
I just
a
go.
one
I
nine
go
to
like this. I
five.
go like this. Yo, right there. I bet. Do you think an aspect of a video game, playing video games, is a talent?
I would say it's a skill. I wouldn't call it a talent. You can master it with, my
Ooh,
sorry,
Sure.
my
Play-
nephew.
millions play video games, but there are very few people who are genuinely gifted at it.
Gifted?
I think you can of course have a talent. That's the whole argument of having talent. Okay, innate talent is like you'll probably be better off at the beginning, but through skill or like hard work, developing a skill, I think you can definitely overcome talent.
What are they, Mozart?
How is it not a talent? Why is it not a talent what he does?
You know what? I'm open to it being a talent. I think it's a skill. I think
Sure.
it's something you can master. I don't think you're a Mozart that you have this gift of
You can
like,
also master
whoa, when
music.
I put my thumb here and this thumb there and do this combo, I do this
You'd be
flip.
surprised. I mean,
There's definitely a talent. Like I have friends who picked up games way faster because they apparently had some kind of fucking born with talent of playing video games.
people out there who are
I have to put in
genuinely
the hours.
The,
That
big,
they
the
have
most,
their opposable
the
thumbs
most
like
gifted-
so good.
That's like saying, here's a paintbrush, go paint me Picasso.
Yeah,
That's like, what?
I'm saying this is so hard. If there's
Yeah,
certain
everyone
games
can
that
definitely
have
paint.
$1 million prize pools, if there's a skill you could just learn and you're looking for a job for 10 months, go pick up a controller and go hop in this $1 million tournament and win it.
You
And
Perhaps.
win it.
You could.
Perhaps.
You couldn't.
But also not.
You couldn't.
What do you mean I wouldn't
You can't even
qualify?
find your OBS stream key. Stop playing.
I need to work for it.
I know.
But
Shut
So
up.
like, but you're dismissing what he does. You're just dismissing.
Yeah, they
I'm
have a
not
tendency of
dismissing, I'm saying
dismissing it
that's
just
easy.
because it's video games, which
I said it's a
is
skill. I didn't say it's a talent. I said it's
I
a
don't
skill.
know.
It's a skill that
But
you
how
can
do you
hone
how do
and
you know
master.
how do you know if it's easy if you haven't done it? Like if you
I
don't.
played Mario Kart. I've played other games.
Not a professional level though.
No, not a professional level because that's not what I'm trying to pursue.
I know, but you don't understand what it takes to be on that sort of level. So how can you try to dismiss it and say it's yours is harder?
What
How
is-
do you know?
what
How
does
do
it
you
take
know?
to be on that
Because
level?
I've worked at 9 to 5.
Yeah. What
so
does it take to be on that level?
Just gift, and you got to play all
Just
the time.
gift?
Tens of thousands of hours of work
Uh-huh.
and editing
That is
and
for
filming and
everything,
constantly
though.
I'm just talking about
having to
pure
innovate and
skill. As far as like the
reinvent.
videos and stuff like that, just off pure
10,000
skill.
hours for you to be
I had
good.
to put tens of thousands of hours.
Could you get a
into my
refresh second
studies.
zone, Tarping?
Sure.
Could you?
I have no idea what you said.
Could you get a refresh going into second zone with no
Oh my
max? Can you get a
God.
refresh on the best players? You
I
couldn't.
can also put. I can circle back and give
Do
you
you know how to
different
short
terms
launch pad?
from
Yeah.
When
my
you're trying to get to third
industry.
zone,
Yeah.
third moving. Do you know
I
how to
don't know
short?
No,
launch
I
it?
don't. But if I
Exactly,
want,
you couldn't, but Excel sheet, we could do Excel sheet.
no,
Yeah,
but
that's a
exactly.
good
I
point.
can
That's a
talk.
good
They're
point.
just
We can
talking
all
games.
just
These
pull out
As a
terms out of
babysitter,
our
I
ass.
can talk to you about the different things I do and ask you, could you do that? No, but if you wanted to, you would.
If us four
Put on race.
took 3 days, you don't think we can master an Excel sheet?
Oh,
But let me give you, if I give you 3
No,
days
I don't
about
think you
a
could.
video game, do you think you could be that talented?
I don't
as
think you
me?
could master
If I
an Excel
wanted to,
sheet.
I
I think you
would.
could become better,
So
but
let's-
I don't
so
think you
let's-
could
so
master an
let's pay
Excel
for
sheet because
her,
there's some
whatever it
crazy
is.
shit to do
Hey,
in Excel.
Give me 3
Please.
days, but if you lose, you got to give us it back in double.
no.
No.
That's not how the
what
job works.
happened?
You pay me,
What
I'll get the job
happened?
done.
Okay.
I would say, in a sense, yes, because you have to put in the work and you got to be on 24/7.
It's difficult to answer that question for us, I think, because
Okay.
we didn't come up in this time frame.
No, that's a good argument because it's like there's a disconnect, especially.
In this era. So and technology is totally different now because we were just talking about playing tic-tac-toe on the sidewalk with cars. I appreciate and respect what
Good
they
old
do, and I
tic-tac-toe
think
days.
that's the consensus for most of us that we appreciate and respect where they are. But it's
And that's
not
nice.
what we did
W
was we
take.
just feel like what we did was harder, and that's
That's
just,
fair.
That's what
It's
I
an
feel.
opinion.
My mind was changed in the sense that now I'm even more convinced that normal jobs are harder.
Okay, Gabe. Okay, Gabe. I kind of liked you, but you also had some like shitty arguments. But okay, what is my take? I think there's definitely both have their ways of being easier and harder. I think the entry to streaming is probably way harder because like you have to some extent be lucky and put in a lot of work without having a lot of like reward to show for the work you put in. Like take me, I'm not saying I put in a lot of like I haven't put in as much work as like other people have done, but I've made nothing from content creation for all the technically hours I have put in it so far. Had I taken those hours I put into content creation so far, gone and worked at a 9 to 5, I would have made money for that. So in that aspect, it's easier to get a reward from a 9 to 5 than streaming, but the ceiling at a 9 to 5, you know, it hits way faster than streaming potentially does. Streaming is forever growing. It's, you know, there's no ceiling in streaming in theory. Now, then there's actuality, but you know what I mean. So I definitely think there's hard aspects, but I think, yes, 9 to 5 is definitely like harder, probably physically and stuff like that. What would I pick? If I had to choose between doing 9 to 5 or streaming and taking the, I guess, mental loads and stuff like that, that it comes with streaming, I would probably pick streaming every day of the week. I would.